who've always been there. They're the ones who inspired us, who by always being there, they gave us the courage to be brave. Even though sometimes you wish we were a little less. Moms support us every step of the way so that we can find our own strength, to realize that no challenge was too big to take on, because we knew that they were going to be there to catch us if we fell. And along the life that moms help us build, we may find more heroes, teachers who inspire us, coaches who get us to rise to that next level, rock stars that show us that no dream is too high to reach. But none of them come close to how much our moms mean to us. For one, I've still never met anybody that can make a better peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But don't worry, you taught me to be polite, so I've never said anything. And all those times we thought our entire world was collapsing down around us, you always knew what to do to help, even if that meant learning long division all over again. And a mom's hug. I never knew exactly what it was that made it so amazing, but from really thinking about how much my mom means to me in my life, I realized that it's just the power of your love, the unconditional love. And that's what really makes you my hero. And so here's to all the incredible moms out there who do so much for everyone else. This is the least we can do to say thanks, to remind you of the incredible woman that you are. We love you, we cherish you. Happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Every day you keep me safe and warm and loved and fed. But today's your special day, it was my turn instead. So I got up at 5 a.m., I've been working hard since then. Some things I didn't get quite right, next year I'll try again. Just for you I did my best to cut my own hair. Some places came out pretty good and some are kind of bare. I washed all your nicest clothes, but the washer wasn't free. So I used the dishwasher, pretty smart of me. Remember, no one's perfect, every kid has faults. Remember, it's the thought that counts more than the results. My heart was in the right place, even though I did it wrong. It was all to say on Mother's Day, my love for you is strong. I vacuumed really quietly, I didn't use the power. I cleaned your dirty iPad screen, I held it in the shower. I painted all the ceilings, it was easy with the mop. Now the carpet's painted too with cool rainbow drops. I answered all your work emails with just leave me alone. And we gave a prince from Scandinavia a loan. I watered all the houseplants with the garden hose. I forgot to turn it off, sometimes that's how it goes. Remember, no one's perfect, every kid has faults. Remember, it's the thought that counts more than the results. My heart was in the right place, even though I did it wrong. It was all to say on Mother's Day, my love for you is strong. Your car shiny inside and out with lots of olive oil. Who knew that oatmeal splatters up so high and far on boil? I tried to make you orange juice, but I spilled it on the floor. I tried to fry you bacon, we don't have a stove no more. Since you can't really cook this week, I called the pizza place. I emptied out the fridge and freezer so there's enough space. They should be here anytime, 2 dozen pizza pies. I paid with your credit card, I hope that you're surprised. Remember, no one's perfect, every kid has faults. Remember, it's the thought that counts more than the results. My heart was in the right place, even though I did it wrong. It was all to say on Mother's Day, my love for you is strong. My heart was in the right place, even though I did it wrong. It was all to say on Mother's Day, my love for you is strong. It was all to say on Mother's Day, my love for you is strong.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Hey, sis. Hold on here. I'm messing up. First of all, I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day to my wonderful mother, Janice Murray. Happy Mother's Day. And I would also like to thank Jennifer, excuse me, for giving me this idea to do this. Hey, Sahara. Hey, Lisa. So what I'm going to do is I asked for some pictures today, and if all goes as planned, I got a problem. I don't know. I got a lot of pictures. I tried to keep it on the theme of mothers, but I don't know. I don't know. I got about 100 pictures. We're going to do a slideshow. So I'm going to start the show off with a little bit of a slideshow. I don't know. It's going to go a while, and that'll give me time to go grab a cup of coffee and wake up a little bit. So without further ado, we'll start the slideshow. And like I said, I think there's about 100 pictures in it. And then when that's over, we'll take it from there. We'll invite people up to come and talk. So let's see if I can pull this off here. Hang on a minute. It's going to start off with I believe it's a picture of our matriarch Isabel Shaw when she was a little girl. So let's see if I can get this going here. Oops. Let's see here. It might be a little rough here. Might be a little rough. Here we go. Let's do oh my goodness. Hold on here. Hold on here. There we go. Here we go. Let's see if that works. As I'm watching this slideshow, I'm not sure if it's working or not. If you can hear me and this is not working, would you call me and tell me? Because my other screen went blank. Anyways, I hope it's working. It's working. Okay. It's kind of quiet. I was hoping you could say, well, that's, I don't know everybody. Okay, thanks. Okay. Thanks. Well, I got the word it's working, so that's good. Well, how about that? I think we went through them. I apologize if somebody got left off or I posted a picture, but these were sent to me, and I did go to a couple of your pages and steal some of those. But that was nice. We have a lot of beautiful mothers in our family, and a lot of beautiful families out there, and that's what we'd like to celebrate. My screen had went blank, so I didn't see all the comments or anything, and I didn't know who they all were. It is what it is. Let me drop the link. Let me hold on here. Hope I don't mess this all up. I probably will. Just give me a second, please. And there it is. There it is. There it is. Let's see here. There's a link. There's a link. So today, I hope that maybe jogged some of your memories about some cool pictures in there. Some that I hadn't seen before. Most of them I saw today. I don't know. I got a bunch of pictures today, and some of them were not appropriate, by the way. Some of them were not appropriate, and I'm not going to give out any names. Well, I see Jennifer is ready to go. Let's see if your mic and everything's working, and I'm going to put you up on the screen and say, hello, Carrot Top. Can you hear me? I can't hear you. You're welcome, sis. And we got quite a few. I thought maybe today would be a popular show. Oh man, I didn't have time to set up today. I'm used to doing this at 4 o'clock. So excuse me for a second here. I'm gonna make sure. I think my mic might have been a little loud. I don't know. I don't know, Jennifer. Try to leave and come back because I'm not sure if you can hear me, but I can't hear you. Maybe get on your phone. That seems to work a lot better. I'm not sure. Well, I hope some of my old aunties are watching. Oh no, you're welcome. Thank you, Cindy. That was very nice. You know what? That was pretty easy to do, and I thought it was kind of neat too. I think some people were overrepresented, or I don't want to use that word, but some were underrepresented, I think. And it was a little late notice for asking for photos. I probably should have done that a day or two ago, and it would have been more of a complete set. But there were some interesting photos in there. Yeah, some old timers. I wish there had been a few more of Grandma, but and I don't have any pictures personally. I just don't. So let me drop that link. Well, that link is up there. You should be able to see it because we just don't want to see me up here. I heard I had a compliment on my backdrop, and it says Happy Mother's Day. And that's what we're here to say, Happy Mother's Day. If you want to come on and talk about your moms, or moms come on and talk about their children, all of those are appropriate for today. Yes, a little cup of Joe to wake me up a little bit. Here we go. Here we go.
Here, you're up.
Wait,
Here's
wait,
Donna.
No, don't do it.
Really?
What are you doing? Telling me what to do the whole time. Just
Oh, there I am.
Hi, Donna.
Hi, Patrick. How are you?
Good. It's good to see you. I'm so glad you came on.
Oh, thank you. Well, thank you to Kurt and Linda because they're the ones that are doing it for me.
Can
So
you hear
what's
me okay?
Huh?
Can you hear me okay?
I can, yes. Sometimes I can hear it, but I can't understand it. So, I may say what a lot, but I can hear you.
I'm next to her here to help her interpret.
Okay. So, did you see the slideshow, Donna?
Yes, I did. You got a lot of beautiful pictures from a lot of different people.
There were. Did any of them bring back memories for you?
Some did, yes. I love that picture of Khaki and Danny and me in front of our house on Western Avenue. That must have been one Easter over there. And Danny was just a little boy. He was a little 8 or 9-year-old imp.
No, that was a good picture. I think my mom was in that picture also.
Yes, she was. Yeah, I knew there was someone else there. It was your mom.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
So your son wanted me to ask you a question.
Sure.
Kurt, he wanted to know how did you meet Kenny? Ken Shaw.
Oh my gosh. It's such a non-romantic kind of answer, Patrick. When we moved to San Bernardino, we lived on a little street called Western Avenue, and our neighbors down the street was Ken Gamlowski. And Mr. Gamlowski was the assistant manager of the lead shoe store, and his children went to St. Bernardine's like we did. And Ken's mother was also on the Mothers Guild at St. Bernardine's. And Martina Gamlowski couldn't wait for my mom to meet Ken's mom, the two Mrs. Shaws. So my mom and his mom knew each other a long time before I ever met Ken, because at that point, Ken was in the service and he was overseas. As soon as he got back, he was also dating a girl in my class at school. And I didn't really go with him at all for a couple of years. And he and my brother Jim became good friends. And both of them would go down to Palm Springs. I rode down there with them a couple of times. And I don't know, it just kind of bloomed out from there. We both went to Hartfield and Leeds. And Ken used to go home for lunch. And his mother would invite me to come up to their house for lunch. They lived pretty close to downtown San Bernardino.
Can you hear me?
I'm sorry? There's Jennifer. Is she coming on now? Or is that Sis? That's Sis.
I think it's one's Sis and one's Jen. Can you hear me okay, Sis? I can't tell who's on.
It says Sis, but it looks like Jennifer.
Turn the phone sideways.
It doesn't. It turns the whole picture sideways.
You can see him bigger.
It turns.
Dawn, if you can hear me, I want to ask you a question.
I can hear you, Sis, but you're locking up. But go ahead and ask Donna. Maybe Kurt translate it for Sis. Go ahead, Sis.
Oh, Donna, I just wanted to ask you if you had a memory of Mom from when you were little and she was young. I didn't know her as a young woman. Do you remember her?
Do you remember your mom as a young woman?
Oh, absolutely. She was the best mother to young children. She used to help us make kites out of string and newspaper and old pieces of wood that we could find. And he played games with us, and she taught us. Before we went to school, we all knew all our ABCs. We knew all the prayers. She was fantastic. She was a wonderful mother to young children. When it got to be teenagers, she just didn't quite know what to do with us, because I don't think she had any teenage years at all. She became the mother in that household went at age 12 when her mother passed away. So she doesn't know what it was like to be a teenager, be dating, be doing all the things that we wanted to do. Kind of scared her, I think. But anyway, she was a wonderful mother. She really was. And then as we got older, she was our best friend. And that was what our relationships really became settled, is when she became mine and Cac and Janice's and Carol's. She really became our best friend. That's my recollection. I don't know. Janice, you want to add anything to that?
I don't think Janice is up.
Or that's Sis. Maybe Sis, do you want to say anything?
That was Sis you were talking
Well,
to.
I don't remember her as a young woman, but it seems like by the time she got to Joe and I, she should have had a little bit of experience with teenagers. But I know that was her difficult area.
She said by the time she got to Joe and Sis, she had experience in teenagers. So it was different from that for them.
Yes, Tris, you were raised, Sis, you and Joe and Terry were raised in an entirely different family than we first 6 or 7 children were. It was an entirely different situation, entirely different mother, entirely different father, different atmosphere, different income. Everything was different. It was entirely different.
You were like my auntie. You were my auntie.
You were her auntie.
I was, yeah. And actually, I was your sister.
Let me just hold it.
So, there you are. Oh, that's a nice picture there, Sis.
Sis, I'm going to ask you to get
Jennifer,
closer
Jennifer, are
to
you
your
going to say
router.
something?
Sis, can you get closer to your router because you're breaking up a lot and your mic is making a bunch of noises.
Okay.
Jennifer, can you talk? Can you talk, Jennifer? Can't hear you though. Why don't you use your phone, because that seems to work a lot easier.
I need to go in.
Yeah, can you go in, sis?
Hold on.
That's better
I'll
now.
move slowly.
Kurt, thank you for helping out with your mom, and I'm so glad to see. Donna, have you watched the show before a little bit?
Have you watched the show before?
I have. I've been able to get it a couple of times. I have a hard time picking it up on my iPad, but God, Patrick, that iPad, I bet I'm on it 16 hours a day. It is the most time-consuming, wonderful gift I've ever had.
Oh, good. I'm glad. It warms my heart.
I don't know what I'd do without it because I don't have the energy to really do any sewing or anything like that. So I just have to, that's energy I have is to scroll my little finger up and down the iPad.
You're a movie.
I wish Patrick sent Celeste one, but I talked to Celeste a couple nights ago and she can't get it. She doesn't get it, how to do it.
Celeste can't do what you're doing.
Oh, really?
No, on the iPad. She said she's having a hard time with the learning curve to learn how to use it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's too bad because she was a heck of a lot better on the computer than I ever was.
Yeah.
The iPad is mostly just doing it and going from one bad situation to the other, and then having good people to help you. I have Gina and Tommy and Cindy and Kirtland. They all help me every time I get stuck somewhere. They can help me out of it.
Right. How are you, Jennifer? Did you have a good Mother's Day?
Yes.
Oh, he's talking to Jennifer.
Oh, I'm sorry.
He's talking to Jennifer.
Jennifer can't
Jennifer's
hear.
still not up. Nobody's hearing Jennifer.
Oh. Jennifer, I can't hear you.
So,
did you have a good Mother's Day, Donna?
She asked you if you had a good Mother's Day.
Thank you. For Happy Mother's Day to you, too. Am I doing anything special? Only Kurt and Linda came and brought lunch, and that was special. And Annie came by, and Tommy and Gina are out taking Cindy out for something, and they're going to come back. We're going to have cake, and it's a special Sunday. Yes.
Donna, Khaki wants you to tell everybody about Mom singing songs and rocking in the rocking chair.
I see that. Well, when we were little kids, the men, and your grandpa Byron was part of it. They all spent every night sitting over in this gas station, chewing tobacco, spitting, and telling stories. Where Mom stayed home with us kids, and she'd put Jim and I in one rocking chair, wrapped us in a blanket, and put Joyce and Kat hold Janie on her lap in the rocking chair with her, and she sang to us. At one time, Janice said she thought Mom had the most beautiful voice in the world. Your mom could not carry a tune, but boy, I'll tell you, she sure knew all the old songs. And to this day, those old songs run through my head all the time.
Yeah, sing us the song, Donna, about climb. What was the one she sang?
Johnny Playmate.
Climb up your rain barrel, climb down my cellar door.
Oh, Johnny Playmate, would you come play
out and play with me and bring your dollies 3. Climb up my apple tree, holler down my rain barrel, slide down my cellar door, and we'll be jolly friends forevermore.
I remember.
Oh, I couldn't come out and play. It was a rainy day. So I breathed a sigh and said, goodbye. Forgot it.
Yeah, I didn't remember that last verse either.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
No,
and Dad had his special songs too. Dad had a beautiful voice. And he had songs that he used to sing to us. He had one old vaudeville song from Chicago called Mr. Gallagher, oh, Mr. Sheen. And that's all I know of it. But the shirt was from an old vaudeville show.
Didn't Grandpa like Irish songs?
Yes, Dad loved Irish songs. Yes, his one Irish song was how Ireland got its name, and to this day, I still remember all the words to that song.
And Danny Boy.
Oh, yeah, that's the song I was thinking of, sis.
Yeah, I remember he sang that. And he
Yeah,
had a
he
couple
sang
whiskeys
Danny
in
Boy
him.
too, but he just liked to sing. Dad was really a good singer, but Mom was the one that taught us all our nursery rhymes. Every nursery rhyme. I don't know where she learned them all. Maybe she must have had a wonderful mother too.
Donna, tell us about your children when they were born. Do you remember? Do you remember them? Do you remember how? Where were you at? Where were you at when Chris was born?
Well, yeah, but they're nothing special. They were just born like we went to the hospital. We had a baby. Back in those days, men were not. They dropped you off out in front and picked you up afterwards. They were not allowed in the delivery room, and they weren't allowed in where you were having your pains or any of that kind of stuff. So it was no big kind of deal. And I know one thing is at one point, Mom had Joe, and we had little baby Patrick, and her life was so busy, and I was working. I absolutely did nothing at home. Joyce helped her a lot. Kathy helped her a lot. And I never realized how much work it was until I had Chris. And when I had Chris is when I really appreciated the fact that my mother took care of all the babies. And what a wonderful job she did.
Sis, is your phone leaning up against something metal? Any chance? Or a charger? Okay.
Leaning up against something metal.
Yeah, well, somebody's popping away. But anyway, someone else come on up and tell a story. I see Kathy's out there. My mom's out there. Come on up.
Let me go out and come back.
Jennifer, got to come on up again. Donna, did you work in San Bernardino when you started having your kids? Or Inglewood?
What hospital do you have Chris in? What town were you in when you had?
Oh, I had all three of the kids, Chris, Cindy, and Kurt, in Inglewood at the hospital there, and had the same doctor for all three of them. Wonderful doctors. And there's brothers, and all they did was deliver babies. And they took $25 off every time you had a baby, because for the Catholic women that were having babies every year. And if you had when you had your sixth baby, I think it started at $150. When you had your sixth baby, it was free.
Really? What did it cost for the first baby?
$150.
$150, $175. I know Grandma Clara thought it was the most outrageous price to pay to have a child, and wanted us to come back to San Bernardino and have the baby there. But I absolutely refused. I said, no way. I live in Inglewood, and that's where our job is. That's where we live, and that's where we'll have our children. We're not going to go to San Bernardino, run home every time I want to have it every time, So that's why we were down there.
Jennifer, I don't explain this live, but there's only one link I can drop. There's only one link I can drop. There's one button I push. There's not more than one. I'm sorry, but there's only one link, Jennifer. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah. Terry said she was a free baby.
Yes, she was. She was born in the year of that was dedicated to the Blessed Mother. And in big families, I don't know if it had to be your 6th or your 8th or whatever, families like that at St. Bernardine's Hospital, it was free. She was free.
Oh, how about that? What are some of your other memories about? What about your brother Jim, or what were your memories of Uncle Jim?
Oh, when Jim and I were small, Jim and I were really close. We did everything together, because he was rejected so much by the kids in the neighborhood because of his crippledness. And back in those days, if you had any little thing wrong with you, kids made so much fun of you. They were such bullies. And Jim and I were very, very close. And I remember he broke my heart one time when he said his favorite sister was Khaki. And it just broke my heart. I didn't know that. So. But no. Jim, he was a one of a kind. You'll never have another one like him.
So it was Jim then you, correct?
What was that?
It was Jim first and then you.
Yes, Jim is the oldest.
How much older is Jim?
And Jim is he was 1 in July, and I was born in September, so he's only like 14 months, 15 months older than me. So we were pretty close. We were pretty close in age. We were only 1 year apart in school, and we were very close. I was a lot closer to Jim than I was to my little sisters. The Cack and Janice and Khaki were closer. And I mean, talking about when we were little kids. I'm not talking about as adults, just as little kids.
Well, what about Celeste? Wasn't she after you?
Was Celeste next after you?
Yes, it was Jim and me, Celeste, Khaki, Janice, Danny, Carol, Joe, Sis, and Terry.
So what do you remember about Celeste?
Celeste, oh my God, she was such a perfectionist. She was always in the house helping Mom. And Celeste and I had to do things together. We made our first communions together. We made our confirmations together. We worked for Grandma Thumb on Saturdays. We'd go over to Grandma Thumb's house and sweep the porches and shake the rugs and scrub the kitchen, clean the bathroom, dust down the stairway. She gave us each a quarter. And we took that quarter to town, and we could take the bus. It was like 3 cents. So we could either take the bus one way or the other, but not both ways. Went to confession. It was Saturday. Then we went to the library and exchanged all our library books for the week. And we could spend 10 cents on ourselves, which means we could either buy some shoestrings, a thing of toothpaste, a comb, a brush, something that we needed, maybe a pair of socks. And then we could spend a nickel on a candy bar. So we'd buy a little nickel candy bar and then have another 3 cents to go home on the bus. That was our Saturdays.
Hey, Pat.
Yes.
I'm going to ask her a question that everybody's kind of fascinated by, and that's Popeye's Island. Not a lot of people remember Popeye's Island, and if you could just, what age were you when you used to spend time there with Jim and who?
I think Popeye lived on that island. I remember from the time we were 8 or 9 years old till we were 11 or 12. So in those years, Popeye was real close to Jim because my dad was not real good with Jim, and Jim spent a lot of time with Popeye, a lot of weekends, a lot of summers, and taught him how to row the boat, how to swim, and he helped when Popey'd have coal delivered or anything. He'd have it delivered on this side, and they'd have to rowboat it over to the island. And we used to go over there, and the boats would be tied up to the dock, and we'd get in that boat and pretend like we were going to go. One time, Popeye untied the boats. He said, "Okay, time to learn how to row." And there we were out in the middle of the river. I don't know who was in the boat with me, probably Cack. And we managed to row. That's how we learned to row a boat. Then from then on, we could row the boat all over.
What river was it?
The Illinois River. But we had to stay. The Illinois River was split right there. Our side was the easy side, and the other side was called the where all the boats went down. All the big boats went down on the other side. That was the
Main channel.
The channel. But our side was like an easy, slow side. But the water was not clean. The water was really dirty because Chicago sewage went in the Illinois River. So we weren't allowed to go swimming. That was not. And it was dangerous too because it dropped off real easy. So we never really got our feet wet. We never went swimming, but we sure played in the boats. We played up and down the little beach that we had there. And then Popeye had all those big old gardens. My goodness, the cantaloupe and the watermelon and the bell peppers and the tomatoes. You can't believe the most delicious.
Did Popeye ever get flooded out of that island?
Popeye would get flooded out every year when the water would wash out down the channel. Big sheets of ice as big as the house would go over the island. And he spent one time, he spent it and this island had some big buckeye trees. I don't know if you know what a buckeye tree is, but it's a great big tree and has these buckeyes on it, look almost like hickory nuts. And he spent the night in the branch of a tree because he couldn't get off the island, and it was flooded with ice and water. And most of the times, though, when it was time for that time of the year, he would string a rope from the shore to the island, and then he would just pull himself across on that rope in case the ice broke or something. Then he would not fall in. I don't even think Popeye knew how to swim. but we had a lot of times. We had a lot of family gatherings. All the ladies, my mom's cousins, the families like to go down on the island, and the women would cook, and the men went down and shared all the vegetables and worked on the land, worked on the island, everything. But we couldn't do that much down there because there were so many snakes. The island was full of water moccasins and snakes. And he had a raspberry patch that had delicious raspberries, but you couldn't go in it. You had to stay on the outside because it was full of snakes on the inside. You just stayed on the outside and picked the raspberries. It was fun. It was just a wonderful way to grow up. Wonderful.
Now you mentioned Grandma Thumb and Popeye. Grandma Thumb was Grandpa's mom, correct?
Grandma Thumb was Grandpa's grandmother.
Did they?
Grandmother?
Grandma Thumb was Grandpa's grandmother. She was our great grandmother. Yeah.
Okay.
Dad's mother was Catherine Thumb, and she was the oldest of Grandma Thumb's children. And Grandma Thumb was, I think, 8. I'm not sure.
Did Popeye and the Thumbs interact with each other?
Was what?
Did Popeye and the Thumbs interact with each other?
Not a lot. They knew each other, but no. The Thumbs were High German, and Popeye was nothing but somebody from where the brickworks were. So they did not. No, they're not friends. They weren't. I can't say they were friends at all. They knew each other, of course, because it was a small town. Everybody knew everybody, but there was no interaction there. Well, the Thumbs didn't interact with anybody. My Uncle Joe Thumb owned the biggest furniture store there in town, and you'd have thought he and his children were just the most richest people in the world, and they were very, very well to do compared to the rest of us. But
Well, I didn't-
you can imagine Patrick, Dad grew up with his Grandma Thumb like you grew up with Grandma Isabel. And he had all those cousins, all those nephews. No, there were his uncles, I guess. It was Bill and Joe and John and Herman. It was all the and Frank, and they all treated him just like Joe and the guys used to treat you, all kind of bad once in a while when he was young, you know. So he wasn't real close to his uncles either. He knew them all, but he wasn't real close to them. But I think the last time we went back to Illinois, Dad went to see his Uncle Joe, as Joe was dying. He was the last one left.
Well, I know Pat's real close to Uncle Joe, so you know.
So the guy with the furniture store, what were his kids' names?
Joe Thumb.
But did he have kids?
Oh yeah, he had 6 children, I think.
Do you remember their names?
Well, the girl that was my age was called Betty, and another boy called Billy, and then there was a Geraldine, and Joanne, and I don't remember the rest of them.
Because I never really heard them talk about that part of the family before.
Well, because Grandma Thumb, we were kind of close to her. She lived between us and school. So especially in the winter days, we leave school and we come down and we stop at Grandma Thumb's house. And she had a furniture in the basement, so the heat came up through a thing in the floor, and we'd all stand over that and get ourselves all warm. And she always made Uncle Bill, he lived at home with her. She always made him go in the pantry and find us a piece of candy. Now, maybe it was Easter time and it was Christmas candy or whatever, but we always found us a little piece of candy for us to have before we went home. And Grandma always sat down, Grandma Thumb did, and asked us how we were and everything. She was just an old, really nice old German lady. Kept busy all the time. She was canning raspberries and strawberries and canning corn, and she was just working. She was a wonderful old lady.
So you have good memories of Grandma Thumb.
I gotta ask my mom something. Pat, hold on.
What?
Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. All right. You need a drink of water or something?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
So you have good memories of Grandma Thumb.
Oh, I have wonderful memories of Grandma Thumb. Yes.
What are
And
some of your
Dad's
most
mother, Grandma Kelleher, too.
What are some of your earliest memories?
Your earliest memories.
My God, I remember the old house we lived in when Khaki was born. Now, I couldn't have been 3 years old. I don't remember everything about it, but I remember parts. one day, Jim and I went for a walk, I guess, and we went and up the road. There's a lot of sand around Ottawa. They did a big business in sand pits and digging sand, and Ottawa had white called silica sand, and it's not everywhere in the world, and there's very few places that have it, and it's one of the things they use in glass making is silica sand. So we went up the road, and Mom came up and found us, and we were sitting in a little cave-like thing on the side of the road, playing in the sand up there. But like I said, we couldn't have been like 3 and 4 years old. And then I remember moving from that place to the next house we lived in, where Danny and Janice were born. We called that the front room house, because the house we lived in after that didn't have a front room. But we moved to that house. We moved in a horse and buggy, and was a hay rack behind, and carried all our furniture and carried us to that other house. It was still in the country, but it was a little closer to town.
I have a quick question. I know you talk a lot about living in Denver and how much you like Denver. What years were your Denver years? You were a teenager back then, right?
Yeah, I was in Denver, and I was a teenager. My sophomore, junior years in high school, those 2 years, we went to Denver. And when I was a freshman in Ottawa, I went to an all-girls academy, and a guy that owned a bakery came and asked the nun if she had some girl. He needed a girl to work, and she suggested me. So I got a job. It was called Hess's Bakery, and I worked there. So we moved to Denver, and Mom and I walked over to Broadway one day, and we went in this bakery, and they were just jammed with people. They were so crowded. And Mom said something to the lady about, I think you need some more work. She says, I wish I could find some somewhere. Mom said, well, my daughter in here has experience working in a bakery. Well, send her in. So I went to work in that bakery for those people. They were so good to me. They were wonderful. But then I quit to go back to Ottawa for the next summer. And when I came back, I went to work at the pharmacy on the corner, because they had a soda fountain. So I worked in the soda fountain, and I did that until the time I left. I did 2 really nice years in Denver.
Sis has a memory of her and Bill going to live with you in San Diego, and she wants to know, she doesn't remember why, and if she went to school down there. Do you remember Sis and Joe coming to stay with you in San Diego?
Joe and Sis came to stay with me when Mom had, I think when Mom had her hysterectomy. I'm not sure. It was only for a real short time. They didn't stay for very long, maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks. They were supposed to stay longer, but they were both just so lonesome for home, And then one year, Buddy and John came and stayed with me for a couple of weeks over Easter vacation too.
And of course, Aunt Terry had quite a few stays at our house.
Well, yeah, but that was later on.
Yeah.
Because we're young.
So
That's about it, Mr. Smith.
No, I don't know. But who was your first? You remember? Because I remember you always told me a story when I was in 7th grade, ready to go to 8th grade, and I remember you always impressed me a whole lot. But you said 8th grade was my favorite year of school. You're just going to love 8th grade. What do you remember about 8th grade? And where were you?
I don't remember. That was the year we moved into town, and we lived just 1 block from our church. No, 2 blocks, I guess, from our church and the academy that I went to school, this Catholic all-girls academy. But my 8th grade, I don't know that it was so special. I guess it was my 2nd year at that school, so I had known people a little better, had made more friends, lived in town, so there was more things I could do and things to do. And then in my freshman year in high school, I was voted freshman class president of my class.
Really?
So I was real popular. At that girls' school. I would give anything to know whatever happened to all those girls in my class.
You'd be surprised if you just type their name in on Facebook. I'm sure.
I've tried. I haven't been very successful. I'd love to find a yearbook for the year 1948 for that school. That school is not there anymore now. The school is all Catholic school for boys and girls. But when I went there, it was an academy, and it was a wonderful place because you were under the influence of the nuns the whole time, and it was quiet. You had to be really quiet. You couldn't be real loud or anything like that. It was just a whole entire atmosphere than home. I just loved it. Fact is, I just begged my mother to let me be a boarder at school, and we only lived a block away. Of course,
Really?
we couldn't.
So you have fond memories of Catholic school.
Yeah, fond memories of Catholic school.
I certainly do. Yes, I had a couple of nuns that were really tough on me, and but for the most part, I loved it. I guess it felt safe. I was happy there. Yes, I never had any bad memories of Catholic school.
How come you didn't send your kids to Catholic school?
She wants to know why you didn't send your kids to Catholic school.
I did.
Oh, you
I
did?
sent them to Catholic school the first 2 years, but remember we lived in
Santee.
in Santee, and Catholic school was way over in El Cajon, so it was like 10 miles away. And we lived 2 blocks from the public school there in Santee. So Ken insisted that we're not spending any more money for tuition for Catholic school, and for you to have a car and drive back and forth over there to take the kids. There's no such thing as bus service or anything like that. So that's how my kids happened to go to public school instead of Catholic school. Yes, I would have given anything to be able to send them to Catholic school.
So Ken wasn't a Catholic?
Was Dad a Catholic?
Was Dad?
Yeah.
Yes, he was. He was born Catholic. He didn't practice his religion for a long, long time. Dad was not that Catholic that you saw him as an old man. He was not that Catholic when we were kids. But yes, he definitely was raised Catholic, and Mom, of course, was too. That's all she knew.
What about Ken Shaw?
Ken Shaw.
Ken Shaw was raised Catholic too. Yes.
Didn't Grandpa kind of become more Catholic when his mother died?
Grandpa Byron became more Catholic when his Grandma Thumb died.
His Grandma
I
Thumb
don't
died?
know what happened. It was when we lived in Denver. And it was my mom that insisted we go to Catholic school. Whenever she could send us to Catholic school, she did. And we lived in Denver, and Grandma Thumb passed away, and Dad went back for her funeral. I never knew something happened. He had some kind of a experience of some kind. And that's when he turned to religion and really became the Catholic that he always was then.
Maggie wants to know who your first boyfriend was.
Who was your first
first boyfriend? Oh,
Yeah.
my God. I had boyfriends from the time I was 8 years old. Don't even ask me that, Pat.
Just like you, Maggie.
Don't even ask me that.
Who did you date in high school? Just high school.
In high school, when
Yeah.
I was a freshman, I didn't date at all. And when I was a sophomore, I didn't date. I worked.
Okay.
But
All
when
right.
we moved, as a senior, I didn't date
Yeah.
not date. We lived in Denver. There was a whole bunch of guys. We worked at the pharmacy where I worked was only a block away from the little theater, and it was a block away from our house. So we were real close to home. And all the young boys that were ushers at the theater would come over to the pharmacy and sit and talk to us when they got off work. So then we'd end up going over to my house and sometimes we'd make a pot of oatmeal. That's all we had. And the guys would stay, and Mom and Dad would keep saying, "You girls have to get to bed." Okay, Mom, they're leaving. And sometimes they'd stay 2, 3 o'clock in the morning and just visit and talk and listen to music and stuff like that, But
You
not
remember-
a one-on-one. Actually, I think the guy I really liked the first was the one that Joyce ended up marrying, that Haynes Hambley. I was crazy about that guy.
Well, what about that guy you were after Dad died? What was his name? The guy that did the big produce guy.
Oh, John, that was high school here.
Yeah, well, we're talking high school.
Jack
Oh.
Stroll?
Oh,
No.
and I
John
moved
Livisic. What was his name, Mom? John
to
Livisic?
Livisic, yeah.
Livisic?
When I moved to San Bernardino, of course, that class I graduated in at St. Bernardino's was 35 kids. 12 of them had been in school from the time maybe not 12, 8 maybe, from the time they were in first grade. They had gone to that same school. So they were like brothers and sisters practically. They'd known each other forever. And so I was really something new, And I dated a lot of the guys in our class, a lot of them. And John Livicich was one that I dated. And he was a nice guy and he was great, but I never really liked him that much. But as he got older, he was better, you know. But I dated a lot of, I went a lot, went to the football games, went to the dances, went to the prom, all kinds of shows.
I have a quick question. We just touch on it real quick because I don't think anybody else knows who Jack Lanfear is. Jack Lanfear was my dad's best friend. He's also my godfather. But how did Dad meet Jack Lanfear? Do you remember?
Dad and Jack Lanfear were friends in high school.
Okay.
And your dad hung out at Jack Lanfear's house because Jack had a twin sister, Joyce, and they were all good friends and they played cards. That's where where your dad learned how to play pinochle, was over at the Lanfears.
What about a guy?
They were friends from the time they were in high school.
The name Jack Straw. Do you remember Jack Straw?
Sure. Who said that name?
My mom.
Oh, no, I guess maybe Janice typed it in or something. Who was Jack Straw?
That's who I went. Then I ended up, and I was a senior in high school, ended up going with Jack Straw. We went steady from probably St. Patrick's Dance, probably all the way through, and then through the prom, to graduation. And then that summer he joined the service. He went to Denver in the Air Force, and then we kind of broke up then. And by that time I had already met Ken, but I wasn't dating Ken. But I started going different places where Jim and Ken would be and everything. So that's kind of when I met Ken.
Okay.
Anyway, that's old stuff. We don't want to talk about that.
No, Pat finds the old stuff fascinating. I know he does. I know by his questions.
No, this is all this kind of family history that a lot of people don't know about. So
yeah.
Thank you.
This is going to be on YouTube forever. So it's kind of like
is that right?
little bit of an archive.
Okay.
So
that's right.
That's why I was asking you the history questions.
No, I'll tell you, it really has bothered me how this whole family has rejected. I don't know, we're not supposed to talk about religion on this show, but it was rejected religion and Catholicism because as we were growing up as young children, that's what made us civilized. We didn't have any money. We could have been just like people running around out with nothing.
Hillbillies. And
it was the religion we had that brought us up and made us feel like we were something. We were somebody. We had some reason to live and something to grow up to, something to aspire to. So it maybe, and people don't need it today, but back then it was our lifesaver. It really was.
Times have changed.
Yeah, I know times have changed. Anyway, that's all I've got to say.
Anyway, I'm about as my arm is about falling asleep here from holding this phone up.
Okay, one more question I got from Uncle Joe.
Yo.
Haynes Hambley, how did they find out he was gay?
Oh,
Haynes Hamley?
No one knew he was gay until after he and Joyce divorced, actually. He never wanted to have any children, and he was always kind of a strange guy, but I always liked him. He and I used to work up little dance steps together when we were teenagers, and we'd do dance things together and stuff, but really, it was Joyce that he liked.
Well, the dance thing might have gave you a clue.
Might have been.
The dance thing might have gave you a clue.
that could be.
I think men danced more back then, Pat. Look at Fred Astaire and those guys.
Well, I imagine Fred Astaire too, but anyways.
Yeah.
Jennifer, can we hear you, Jennifer? We can see you. I don't know if you can hear us or can you talk?
There's Jennifer on again. Is she?
We can't hear Jennifer. Jennifer, maybe you should become a mime. A mime might work.
What year did you graduate high school? Dennis wants to know.
What year did you graduate high school?
1948.
1948. 1940 and 8.
Back in the olden days, Patrick. That was the olden days.
That's for sure.
So you were in junior high school during the war.
I was in grade school and junior high school during the Second World War. Yeah.
What do you remember about the war?
Oh, I remember it vividly. As far as we had so many friends that had their husbands and my uncle were overseas. Mostly they served in the South Pacific. I don't think we had anyone in our family that served in Europe. And then I remember the rationing books. Remember going in the store, in one of the, like a Walgreens drugstore, and seeing cigarettes on the shelf and running home and telling Mom they've got cigarettes up there, and Mom going down real fast to buy herself a package of cigarettes. But actually, we didn't have it so hard because we grew so much of our own food. We had garden, we had the island, we had all the fruit and vegetables we could possibly ever want. And Dad, they would kill a pig once in a while, and we had all that. So I don't remember a big hardship. I know, yes, we had a hard time getting shoes for all of us. That was the hard time, was having enough shoes, because we wore our shoes out. We couldn't pass them down like you can pass clothes down, and we all needed, when you wanted shoes, you had to get new shoes, and the money was hard to come by, and the rationing stamps were hard to come by.
Wasn't Uncle Ed in the South Pacific?
Was Uncle Ed in the South Pacific?
Uncle Ed was in the South Pacific. Yeah, he was at Guadalcanal, I think.
Whoa.
But Mom's best friend, Alphonse and Ruby, Alphonse was at Iwo Jima. He was one of the few Marines that lived through the fight at Iwo Jima on the 4th Marine Division. So that was really the bad fight of the year that I remember.
Hi, Susie. Can you
Donna,
hear?
it's so good to listen to you and hear you on here. Everybody's so excited you're up here talking.
It's Susie Dietz. She says it's been nice listening to you talk.
Yeah, I see you there, Susie.
We're going to come visit you Tuesday.
You're going to come visit you when?
Yeah, you're coming down Tuesday, right?
Tuesday.
Yeah, with my mom.
Good. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. Give me a reason to keep my eyes open and stay awake.
That's right. That's right.
Susie, don't let your mom bring me a bunch of stuff, though. There's nothing I need. There's nothing I want.
Watching you, so you're telling her right now.
She's watching. She said her mom's watching her, so you're telling her right now.
Your mom has never come to my house without bringing me something. I don't care if it's a pair of socks or a pair of underwear like this size that she found in the Goodwill store. She always brought me something, and I really appreciate it. But but I can't do anything in return to her. I know she doesn't expect anything in return, but just seeing her, just knowing that you're making the effort, that's enough. That's fine.
Oh yeah, looking forward to it, Donna.
Yeah, I do too. Susie, that white fuzzy blanket that you gave me last year, I use it every day. Every day when I take my nap, that's what I put over me.
It is a soft one. Go ahead, we're still listening to you, Donna.
Susie, what memories you have of Donna when you were a little girl?
Can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Patrick, your audio went off.
Okay.
I can hear both of you, Susie. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, so Pat wanted to know, what's an early memory of my mom that you have? Like maybe going somewhere in San Diego or something, I don't know.
And Donna was the only house we could go to as kids that I remember going and feeling welcome. Because anywhere else we went, it was overwhelming. But Donna always accepted us with open arms and a chocolate cake. Couldn't have been better than that. I remember going down to Mission Bay, and Donna and Ken had a boat, and they'd go water skiing. And I was amazed that Donna would be out there water skiing out on Mission Bay. I was too young to go out there, but I can remember watching them. And
water skiing on Mission Bay when Susie was real little.
Yeah,
probably Claude Gray.
Yeah, you couldn't have been more than 3 or 4 years old. Probably 4, maybe 5.
It was either Claude Gray or Dr. Liker, one of the two.
Huh?
It was either Claude Gray or Dr. Liker. Dr. Liker. Remember Alan Liker?
No, it's behind his boat? Claude Gray's boat.
Okay, all right.
I thought it was you guys' boat. I just remember being so impressed going down there, and it was just fun times all the time. But you and my mom both were always ones to create a lot of fun for the kids. Didn't matter. It didn't have to cost a lot of money, but whether it was a carnival in the backyard or taking us to the plunge over there in El Cajon, there was a plunge you always took us to, or roller skating,
people.
Santee Lakes, or there was always something going on so the kids would have a good time. You and my mom were always great for that.
Susie's saying that she's always grateful because whenever she went to your house, there was always something fun to do, whether it was going to Gillespie Pool or the Santee Lakes or having a backyard
beach.
carnival or
Beach,
whatever.
yeah.
They always had something going on.
Susie, do you remember one time you and Jennifer came down, and your mother must have been having one of the babies. I don't know which one it would be, because I think it was just you and Jennifer that came and stayed with me, and we were invited to dinner over at this house. This young man worked for Ken at the shoe store, and his mom and dad invited us for dinner. And I said, well, I'll have to bring my 2 nieces. And so we had 5 kids we took with us to dinner at this lady's house. She had a black maid that waited on us. And I was so impressed with you, because it was like you had a maid to wait on you your whole life long. You were just so like the queen. You loved it. But you guys,
because that's in blood. You know, those wealthy people on my other side. I don't remember that.
I don't really. She's talking about. It's hard. That's hard to.
I can't hear everything that's coming through. So there's Jennifer again. Can you
hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Finally. Okay, I want to read something for all the mothers. Can I do that?
Sure.
Okay, these are 10 things Mom never told you. You made her cry a lot. She always wanted that last piece of cake. It hurt her when you behaved rudely. She was always afraid. She knows she's not perfect. She watched you sleep at night. She carried you a lot longer than 9 months. It broke her heart every time you cried. She put you first every time over her, and she would do it all over again. I think that's for all mothers out there.
That's wonderful. Yeah, I saw that on my Facebook too.
That's where I got it.
Yeah, that's where I get everything.
Pretty much.
Is mom listening?
Yes, she is.
How come she's not up here?
She was listening to Donna and enjoyed listening to Donna's stories, and she didn't want to.
I'm sorry, I
She's
can't.
listening. She's watching.
They were talking about Khaki being on the show, but
Oh.
she doesn't want to come up and take away from your stories.
Oh
so.
shoot! Well, Khaki enhances my stories.
Khaki, come on up here. Khaki, Damien, put her on.
Jennifer, you're coming through loud and clear now.
Great, thanks. I wish I could do it on the computer, but this is fine.
Yeah.
Are you on your phone?
Yes, I'm on the phone.
I see.
I just spent $100 to get it working in my computer. It worked twice, and then the mic went out again. So I don't know what's going on.
You got a bug.
Well, I think my computer guy put me on Microsoft Edge and took me off of Chrome. So I went back and put Chrome up, and I think that's why it started working the audio.
Your audio still isn't real crisp, but you can hear you.
Oh, I want to show you. Can you guys see this corsage? Wait. Lisa got me a corsage for Mother's Day.
You need longer arms, Jim.
Looks like an orchid.
It isn't. It's an orchid. And she brought me a whole bag to cook for dinner for tomorrow night.
That sounds wonderful. That sounds really, really good.
You look really good, Aunt Donna.
You know what? I feel pretty good now. The things that are bothering me now are not life-threatening. The things that are bothering me now just make me miserable. That's right. Some days I'm just a miserable person to be around. But for the most part, I feel better right now than I felt for a while, you know?
Well, you've always been a
pain medication I'm taking.
Aunt Donna, you've always been a second mother.
You've been a second mother, and Damien's on.
Yeah, okay.
You might want to say something. What's up, Dame?
Well, actually, I just got her on, but she has to go to the bathroom, so she'll be right back.
I'm sitting here all twisted up alongside her chair on a footstool with my arms extended out. I'm sweating right now.
I'm going to sit here and make sure she hears every word, just like you. Can't not be like that.
You want to hold it for a while? I'm going to let her hold it.
Yeah, let your mom stay on.
The only trouble is when Kurt's not here,
Hi, Donna.
I can't interpret what everyone's
Hi,
saying.
Donna.
Wish my hearing wasn't so bad. That's probably what bothers me. Makes me less social than anything else is that because I can't hear what everybody's saying.
Damien
I can
said
hear
hi,
you talking,
Donna.
but I can't understand the words that are coming out of your mouth. So you just need to talk more clear.
Okay, here we go.
I'm gonna get up so that Mom and Donna can talk. Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
everybody.
Happy
Oh,
Mother's
hi,
Day,
Kat.
Mom.
I'm amazed that Susie Donna doesn't remember the two main reasons that the kids love going to your house, besides getting out of Fontana. One was the Jack in the Box, where Jack talked to you. The other
Right.
was 7-Eleven was the only place you could buy Slurpees.
7-Eleven store.
Remember?
They used to love to go to the 7-Eleven store.
Yeah, I know. What was the other one they used
You
to
don't
like?
remember?
Jack in the Box. Jack
Well,
in the
I
Box
always
and 7-Eleven.
remembered going to Donna's because of her scrambled eggs, and she always took us to the beach.
We did. We
Yeah, well,
went. Kat, remember the
that's
time? Remember the time the two Kennys went out fishing at Redondo Beach, and you and I had the kids, and we said we go watch when the boat comes in, and you were driving and shit. You didn't know how to drive any more than I did, and we drove down to Redondo Beach, and the boat came in with a what did Kurt used to call them with a hot and a who. A hot was the stack, was the smokestack, and the who was the whistle. And here comes this boat with a hot and a who. And here's Kenny Dietz and Kenny Shaw waving at us. And the next thing you know, the boat's going out again. They're taking the next trip out. And there's Cac and I sitting with, well, probably 6 kids. Well, so we start home and we have to go up this great big hill to get up on our road. Well, Cac, we didn't know how to shift. So you had to shift and I had to put my foot on the gas. Oh my God, it was so funny. But we made it up the hill and we made it home with the kids. But that was so weird. Do you remember that, Cac?
Oh yeah, that's what the two Kens used to do. I'd come down Inglewood with Jennifer and Chris, and you had Chris, and I don't think you had Cindy. They'd go fishing, and they went at night, and they were supposed to come in the morning, but they didn't come back to your house. So I said, well, I can drive. Let's go and surprise them when they get off the boat. But they didn't get off the boat. They did that in San Diego too. That was their getaway.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Oh, I remember a lot of times when you guys would come down and Kenny Dietz wouldn't even come in. Kenny Shaw would meet him outside. You'd bring the kids in, and he and Kenny would take off and go somewhere.
Yeah.
I think they'd go to, I don't know if they went to Tijuana. I don't know if they were up to no good or if they
Oh,
just
I've
needed
heard some
time alone.
Tijuana stories.
Huh? What?
I've
Jennifer?
Yeah,
heard some
I remember
Tijuana
that.
stories.
Oh yeah.
She remembers
Yeah.
Tijuana stories.
Yeah, yeah. But anyway, those are the olden days.
And Donna, you have a short memory about your boyfriends. You have a short memory about our boyfriends in Denver. We, Celeste and I were just like in 8th and 9th grade. But we had boys coming to our house all the time. Wasn't it Charlie that played the trombone or something that liked you real well?
Charlie, that
The
played
boyfriends in
trombone.
Denver?
Not his name wasn't Charlie. What was this? The kid that was in the Air Force, you mean? The guy that hung out with
They were all in this, yeah.
What was his name? Wes. His name was Wes.
And then when Edmund came home, remember
Wes?
when Edmund came home, he had his friend Mickey Walsh, and we went up the mountains with them, with Mickey Walsh and his friends.
Yeah, with Mickey Walsh and you weren't there, weren't you? That was Joyce and I.
They were all
wasn't it?
older than we were.
I thought.
Yeah, we all had the boys in the orphanage came over to our house all the time. Remember those boys that lived in the foster home across from the church, and they hung out at our house all the time.
Yeah, because well, but we weren't like boyfriend and girlfriend. They didn't take us out to dinner or take us.
No, we were too young to do that.
It's all hung out
But they
together.
were still our friends. And like Jay Lynn would say, they were still boys, and they were still our friends, so that made them our boyfriend. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm having a hard time hearing. I'm gonna get out of here now. We've been on for over an hour, so.
Hey, Kat,
I just wanna.
I got a quick
When you
question
worked
for you.
at the fountain, remember my favorite dish that you would make for me when I came into the drugstore?
What's that?
When you worked at the fountain, do you remember what Kat's favorite dish was when she came in? What she liked to order?
No, I don't.
She does.
Oh, remember I got the blackberry ice cream with the marshmallow on top? And the phosphates, remember the lime phosphates?
Yeah,
the
you like phosphates. I remember that.
Hey, Kak, I got a question for
Yeah.
you. Who was the
Sure.
first sister to get? Who was the first sister to get pregnant?
Oh, that's not a fair.
Who was the first? It wasn't a sister, it was me, honey. It was me.
That's not fair.
I'm not saying like while you were married. I'm not trying to create a scandal here or anything. I was just wondering who's the. I guess it would be you because Poop would be the oldest grandson, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was me.
Okay,
I was a good Catholic girl.
I guess.
Yeah.
But my dad used to say a good Catholic girl or a sexy Protestant. One of the two.
Well, I was both.
All right.
I was a good Catholic, sexy girl.
We're gonna hang up. We're getting tired. My mom's getting tired.
Okay,
So.
I have my hearing's as bad as Donna's, if not worse.
Okay, well, we're gonna talk to you later.
Donna,
Bye-bye.
thank you so much.
Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you so much, Donna.
Bye. Happy Mother's Day to all of you.
Good day. Thank you for coming on, Donna.
Bye bye.
Okay, Donna. Okay.
How you doing
Hi,
today?
Pat. I can't talk because I can't hear.
What's that?
What do you want to know?
How you doing, Cac?
I'm doing okay. Boring.
Yeah.
Boring as hell.
When did Damien get back?
Yeah. Alone. I was alone all day long. Not one person came to my door. But I'm sitting here enjoying Maggie's red roses. Maggie gave me red roses for Mother's Day. So I wasn't alone. I had 24 red roses.
Well, that was nice. So your son Kenny, Poop, he wasn't like a special grandchild, was he? Because Grandma was still having kids.
Okay. Kenny wasn't the first one. There was Mark and Bunny and Mike.
Oh,
They were older than Poop.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, good and bad. Bad and good. Yeah, we had good times in Denver. Yeah, okay, Damien's going to take it over now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. She got off. You go ahead.
So you made it home okay, Damien?
With second. What do you got, Smith?
You made it home okay?
Yeah, I've been home like a half hour, 45 minutes. 7.5.
Did you have a good trip?
Yeah. I don't know why it takes 7.5. When you drive straight through, you do 80 the whole way. You think you only go through drive-throughs. You think it'd be like 6.5, 7. But I used to do 6.5, 7. Now it's 7. Took 8 to get there and 7.5 back.
What happened? Was it crowded traffic?
No. So I don't know. But you think it should go quicker than that. No, we had a good trip. Thank you for your hospitality. That was a good little stop we had. And from there, that was a nice drive home. I never went that way before, so that was good.
Yeah.
Hi, Janice.
You didn't stay
Hi,
that.
Damien.
Hey, Mom. How come you didn't come on?
Happy Mother's Day, Janice. Happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
How
All
come you
right,
didn't?
I'm going to get off.
Okay. Happy
All
Mother's
right,
Day.
be with your mom. All right. See everybody later.
Take care,
Bye,
Damien.
Janice.
Bye.
Okay.
So what do you have to add to the story, Mom? What do you remember about those days?
I want to thank you for the new Apple
That's okay.
iPad
That's
that arrived at my door today.
not the right time
Thank
right
you.
now. It's not the right time. What do you remember about Don and Khaki? Growing up with Don and Khaki.
Can't hear you.
You can't hear me? Oops. Well, I don't know if can you hear me? Someone type in if they're hearing me. Maybe I have to leave and come back again. But I just got dissed by my mom. That's okay. It happens. Sis, you want to come up on here? Or Donnie, is Donnie watching? Yes, I think that yes means you can hear me. That's good. Let me drop that link. Let me drop the link again, and someone can come up here because this show is not it's about moms today, and we got some moms out there. Thank you, Kurt. Your mom was awesome today. Thank you so much for helping her out. That was awesome. and I hope your mom enjoyed it. Okay, good. So you can hear me. Okay, good. So we've gone about an hour and 20 minutes. There's no real agenda. I would like to get some more mom stories up here. I thought that's what I was waiting for, to kind of do this show, so we can get like Donna and Kat come on and talk about their old boyfriends and such, their husband stories. That was awesome. That's why I did this. That's why I did this. I wish more would come on. I don't know if Celeste is watching, but hopefully she'll get a chance to watch this and see some of her sisters. And I would like to hear one of these days. I would like to hear her old memories, because I don't know a whole lot about Uncle Joyce. Well, here's my mom again. Here's Jennifer again. Let's see. We get these two women up here.
Hi, Jan.
Hi, Jen.
So what are you doing for Mother's Day, Janice?
Nothing. I wanted to read something to Patrick. This is a different twist about Mother's
Okay.
Day. I wanted to read him about how much I appreciate being his mother.
Yeah, no.
Patrick, this is what the show's about.
Okay.
I gotta read it because I don't want to leave anything out. I just made it up a few minutes ago. I just wanted to say my two sons, one raised by me with lots of help, the other raised by adoptive parents. So many similarities, both high school teachers, both of great character, both with a love for music and the arts. One gave me 4 beautiful granddaughters. The other has not married, but has contributed so much in the way of generosity, love of animals, love of science, etc. I spent my life trying to figure out my purpose here and have come to realize it was giving life to you both. Some say that we choose our parents and path before returning here. And if so, I thank you for picking me for this journey we're all on. You must have chosen with great difficulty. I feel honored. Thanks for being who you are.
Thank you.
That's it.
That's what Mother's Day is about, Janice.
Thank you, Mom. That was very nice.
Thank you for the beautiful iPad. I'm
You're
having
welcome.
trouble with passwords, so I don't know when I'm stuck with Xfinity password and I can't find it.
I know. I
I have
figured.
to call Xfinity and get it.
Okay.
But I'm going to pass the other one on to Terry.
Good.
I got a beautiful Apple iPad from Patrick today. It arrived a couple of hours ago.
No, that was a nice little thing. Did you write that by any chance?
Yes.
Oh,
Who would
very
have
good.
written it? Who
Very
else would have written it?
I don't know.
Nobody else has 2 boys like I do.
Did you cry when you wrote it, Janice?
No.
Wrong answer.
Did he
Wrong
cry?
answer.
Did I cry? Did he cry when I read it?
Yes,
No, you.
Oh.
I did cry. I cried like a baby. That's why I went off.
That's what I thought, Patrick. But this is what Mother's Day is about.
Yeah, that was
I
nice.
want to see if my daughter's out there to get on.
Yeah, well, look, there you go. Let me grab that link again. Can you hear me okay, I guess?
Yeah, we're
Everybody
fine.
can hear.
Good.
So when I'm listening to all the histories, I think is so much that things that, were to be said, but most of it was right, but I'd fill in the blanks. But anyway, it was interesting.
What do you remember about what Don and Kaki were talking about?
Yeah, well, we've always said where you come in the family, you get a completely different feeling of how you felt growing up. I mean, Donna was the youngest. She was the only girl for a little while. I was the middle. Terry's at the bottom. We all have completely different ways of talking about it. Donna loved Catholic school. I had the meanest nun that ever lived for 2 years in a row who almost made me crazy. So I hated Catholic school. It's just where you come from and what the circumstances are. You were asking what Mom was like when she was young. I remember her as just being completely exhausted all the time. She was exhausted. That's what I remember. She was a wonderful lady, and she never stopped. But I just remember her always being very, very tired. But she was a saint. Yeah.
Okay.
She just took care of everybody. She just cooked and cleaned and cooked, and everybody was welcome. And I remember her saying Dad gave her $30 a week for groceries, and that would fill the old Dodge car and feed 10, 12 people at the table for seven evenings a week. I don't know how she did it, but she did. Yeah.
So I'm curious. You didn't like
And she
Catholic
helped,
school.
and she had a lot to do with raising you because I had to go to work.
Yes.
So
Here, we got another one of your sisters. Just a quick question before I put sis on. So you didn't like Catholic school, but you made me go. Why is that? Because I wasn't a big.
well, no, I thought they did give you a good education. I had a couple of nuns that were really nice, but I thought it was the thing to do. I thought you had to make your kids go to Catholic school. It was again under pain of heaven and hell. I can't believe Donna didn't have her kids in Catholic school because she always thought it was so great. But well, no, you went there at St. Joe's, and we lived there by Khaki, and they all went to St. Joe's. But I remember you begged. I don't know why you didn't like it, but eventually I let you go to public school. I think the year before we left Fontana.
Yeah, I
Right.
love public school. I love public school.
What did you hate about Catholic school?
Well, I think I did get a stricter education. That's probably what I liked about it. But they were just cruel. They were cruel, and they were mean. That I don't know. And I was always competing with Damien, who was always the favorite.
Yeah.
They loved Damien because he could sing really nice and he was musical. So yeah, I think that probably had a lot to do with it.
Yeah, well, you were there with 5 of the Dietz boys competing all the way, so it was probably tough.
Do you remember the routine to go to school?
Yes, I always worked, so I would pick everybody up in my car and take you up to school. I think I had the Rambler. We bought that great big old blue Rambler, and all the kids fit in it. And I sold the little tiny Rambler to Cack and Kenny, the one I bought when you were in Cherry Valley. Little tiny white, the cheapest car you could buy. And I think Khaki drove that car for 10 years after I sold it to her. Remember that one, the little white one?
Yeah, the Rambler American. Do you remember when we picked up the Dietzes and the kids would slam the door?
No.
You used to hate it.
Well, I don't remember that. I remember piling them all in and taking them up to school and then going to work in Riverside. Yeah, I always went to work. But
Yeah,
it was 4 days a week. Lottie was there with us to take care of you. She lived with us for quite a while. That was nice. Remember Lottie?
oh yeah, of course I remember. She's a sweet old lady. Also, I remember Susie used to take care of me after school.
Yep, Susie took care of you a lot. I
Ronnie
wanted to go back to college, and I went to night school, and Susie took care of you.
and Ronnie Jacobino. I used to stay at their house in the afternoons for a period of time.
Yeah, yeah,
Yep. That was a good neighborhood we grew up in.
yeah, it was. Yep.
Susie learned how to drive on that white Rambler, by the way.
Oh, she did?
That was the 3 on the tree, wasn't it? Then wasn't the shifter up on the?
It was. I'm sure it was. I'm sure it was the shift car.
Yeah.
So it was I think I bought it in Beaumont, and I bought it right before JF Kennedy was killed, and we packed you in the back seat. It made Ike into a little bed at one end of it, or it laid down or something, and you were like 3, and Mom and you and I drove down to San Diego, and
I don't remember.
we were watching Jack Kennedy, the death on the television. What the weekend he was shot. Yeah.
I remember that being on TV in Cherry Valley. That's one of my earliest memories. Is that?
Yeah, but we drove down to San Diego in that little car because it was brand new, and I thought it was nice to be in a new car to go somewhere. Yeah. So.
Well, good.
And what?
Yeah, I guess I.
What else up here?
Well, I put the link up there, and I should say to Susie, another one. She's kind of like a surrogate mom for me, and for
yeah,
many years. So I got to say, Happy Mother's Day to my cousin Susie. Thank you, if she's watching.
I remember taking Susie to the show. She'd never been to a theater, and when I took her downtown to the Ritz to some Disney movie, I think, and I think she was about 5. And when I took her in, she says, "Oh, what a big TV!" And I remember her saying that. Yeah. That
So
was-
where was that at? Because that was before I was born.
No.
Yeah.
No, you must have been. Oh, yeah, it was before you, of course. Yeah. I used to help. I used to stay at Kaki's a lot when she had the kids and help with them and babysit.
What do you remember? Dennis had a memory, or did you talk about Joe Shalega?
Oh, I've talked about him before. Yeah.
Okay.
That's old stuff. Yeah, he really liked Dennis. I dated him those years when Dennis was a little boy. And yeah, he fell in love with the Dietz kids. In fact, I heard that Kaki had contacted him a few years ago. He was still alive in Detroit, and he named one of his daughters Susie after Susie.
Oh, I see Kenny's on here. I don't know if he can. I hope he's getting his hearing taken care of. But hey,
Kenny's on?
Kenny
Oh.
D. First, I don't think I've seen him on before. Hey, Ken.
Okay.
Good to see
I'll
you.
go off.
Well, he's not going to come on here. I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
But anyways, well, if no one else wants to come on, maybe we'll have to wrap it up.
okay. I'm gonna go off. Maybe someone else will come on.
Hey, thank you, Mom. Love you, and get your password and figure it out, and
Yeah,
give to Aunt Terry your old one.
yeah. I already called her. She's thrilled to death. Not
Okay.
thrilled, but she said, yeah, she'd take it.
Okay, good.
Okay. Love you.
Love you
Bye.
too. Well, we had some nice surprises today. I'm gonna remove her from the screen here. We had some nice surprises on Mother's Day. Thank you all for coming. We've gone a little over an hour and a half. I'm willing to go a bit longer, but so let me drop the link. We'd love to see some more stories. I thought we never hear Carol. I don't know if Carol ever watches the show. We'd like to see Carol. I'm sure has some good old family stories. So I dropped the link, and we're already about burned out on this right here. Who else would like to come on up and say Happy Mother's Day? How about that? Just a simple pop up and say, hey, Happy Mother's Day, Kaki. I see Dennis out there. What's keeping you from saying happy? I know you called me real early this morning or texted me, call your mom. You scared me, Dennis. I call my mom all the time, but I was worried something happened. And anyways, yes, Susie, actually, you're very special to me, cousin Susie. Yes, you are. A mother from another mother, something like that. So, Dennis, come on up here. Ken, Damien, Jennifer, Susie. Susie, you came up already. There's Jennifer. Thank you, Jennifer. Let's wait for your video to pop up. There you go.
I just want to thank you for the show, Patrick. It took you so long to put all those pictures together, and you did a wonderful job for this.
Well, thank you.
I just wish more of the kids would have came up. I wish more people would have got on to talk about their moms. But you know what? Your show was great.
No, I thought it was. I loved it. I loved seeing Aunt Donna come on.
Hi, sister.
What I wanted to say before you closed was I just feel very blessed to be in a family with so many role models for good mothering. All the way down from grandma and all my aunts and my sisters and the cousins and everybody in our family really loves the children. And I think that comes from a long line of strong women who had kids, loved them through thick and thin, when things were lean, when things were good. We've always been behind our kids, and that makes me proud to be part of this family, because it really, we look out for each other, and that means a lot. We take it for granted day by day because not all families have that. Here's Honey. Hi, Honey.
Patrick, look at this face, buddy. Coming up there to get you.
Okay.
I just want to agree with Susie. So many of our aunts that we grew up with and we've loved have all been some type of mothers in our life, every single one of them. And Susie, you've always been the best. You've taken over, you've raised kids, you've helped everybody in the family.
We have all done whatever we could do. And I look at my kids and the kinds of kids they are, and Lisa and all of them. They're just, all of them. They're just a blessing to have a part of our family. And I think that has to do with the unconditional, unwavering love that surrounds everybody in this family. But I think it comes from the mothering and the women that we've had as an influence in our lives. And we do take it for granted that we don't acknowledge that all the time, but it's a huge, huge positive in our lives throughout the years. So I just want to say thank you for that.
I have a lot of.
I just want to give a big shout out to all the mothers that were on here, we're watching, and I think we've done it, like Susie said, an amazing job.
No, I have a ton of very strong women role models, probably more than, I hope I don't offend anybody, but they're stronger than most of the men in our family, or there was a lot more of them, I guess I should say. But very strong, good role models that I grew up with, and I want to thank them all of them.
Great show, Patrick. Thank you.
Okay.
All right.
So is that
By the way,
I guess we're
Unless
ready.
anybody else wants to get up. I was wondering where Dawn and Lisa were.
wait, one more thing. I want
Yes.
to thank my mom for coming over yesterday and partaking in the Mother's Day party we had yesterday here at my house, where she got gifts and the girls were here and the grandkids were here and we all went swimming and we barbecued, and that was our Mother's Day festivity. So I guess I have to go visit my mom because she's feeling lonely today, but we really celebrated yesterday, just for the record.
That was good, Susie. You got to get the record straight.
I know. Okay. Love to all.
Love to all.
Hey, thank you, Susie. Thank you, Jennifer. I appreciate you coming on. Oh boy, that's just me all up there. I'll leave it another minute or so with the link because it takes a while. I just put it up. If anyone else wants to come on and say their Mother Day piece, I got to say I love you to my mom on Mother's Day. So would you like that opportunity also? It's available to you now for another minute or so, and then we'll wrap this up and we can enjoy the rest of the day. Which up here is kind of a nice sunny, wanting to rain day. The sun just came out now, and yeah, there's always stuff to do outside. Good to see you come on, Dave and Larry. It was good to see Larry make an appearance. We don't get to see very much of Larry. Yes. It's a little bit boring when I'm just up here. So we're going to go about another minute. And we'll wrap it up. And yeah, I wonder if David's watching or Christy. I guess Christy has a few little stray baby kitties that I might end up adopting if we can figure out how to get them up here to me. So she made a cute little video about them traveling up to Crescent City. So if you're watching, that was very nice, Christy. And I will take them off your hands if we can get them to me. What else is going on? So I see there's, quite a few people watching. I think we had right up there with the records of like 20, which is really high rating for the show. But thank you all for tuning in. Okay, there you go, Khaki. Bring those kitties up to Crescent City. We'd love that. I think you need to make a trip up here. I think you would like it up here too. It's actually a beautiful place. So good. You'll get the kitties from Christy and you can bring them up to me. Christian will take care of them. He's good with cats. So that would be wonderful. But we got to do it pretty soon because I don't want old cats. Anyways, well, thank you, Kurt, for bringing on your mom. Appreciate it. Appreciate it a lot. Your mom's a great woman. And maybe now that we've broken the ice, and maybe Cindy can help do the translation next time if she's willing. But that was wonderful. We still just need to get good, Chris. Good. Dave, she's going to like it. I think she'll like my products. They work pretty well. Camera. I don't know what that means, sis. Camera. For all you aspiring writers out there, remember the sentence has to include a subject and a predicate. And I'm just not sure the subject. Or the subject was a camera. I don't know the predicate on that one. Dennis, you never came on and said happy birthday to or happy Mother's Day to your mom. Darn it. So My camera is not working for some reason. I got you. I appreciate. Yep. I think that's worth the marquee. That's worth the marquee right there. Sis, you're learning. Damien and Danny Wells figured this one out. If you want to get on the marquee, all you got to do. There we got a couple. Want to say goodbye.
I was just going to come on and say Dennis Dietz better get up here and say Happy Mother's Day to his mother. I'm going to scold him.
I'm up here right now saying Happy Mother's Day to all, my mother and all the mothers that have been mothers in my life. Yes, I thought it was a Mother's Day show and guys were supposed to kind of stay out and let the girls do the talking, which I thought was great. Kurt made me feel really bad. My cousin Kurt, because he did such a good job with his mom. I had to commend him.
He did a great job.
He did a great job.
Great
job. Yeah.
Finally.
Good presence with Donna. Everything, no movement of the camera. Voice was good. It was like he did a sound check with Patrick beforehand, but Kurt's got it down, obviously. And some people need a little work. I'm sure I do too. But thank you, Smitty, for the show today. I thought it was quite interesting hearing the old aunts talk some stories. That's a good thing. We don't get to do that too often.
No, that's what I've been waiting for. Maybe it'll happen a little more often.
Yeah.
Attaboy, Kurt. Attaboy. He wants an attaboy.
No, I gave him an attaboy. I called him.
Yeah,
and gave him an attaboy.
Kurt did a great job.
Danny Wells, miss you, brother.
Hey, you too, man. Glad to see you came up.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I wish I could have been there. I'm sorry, I'm at home in quarantine. Well, not really quarantine, but feel like we're all stuck. We're in the big stuck right now. So
I also wanted to say Happy Mother's Day to Khaki. I've known Khaki since I was a teenager. So she has taught me a lot. She's guided me a lot as well. She's been a mother figure, and as well as all the other women in this family, very strong women. And I'd like to say Happy Mother's Day and thank you to all of them for everything they've done and who they are.
Hear, hear.
I was always amazed because you know how you feel about your mom. It's all you always try to hide things and whatever. But how all my friends just loved my mother. Just I had the coolest mother ever, according to all my friends. I didn't always see it because of coming from my perspective. It was hard to see, but I owe my mother so much. She put up with a lot of crap from this boy. I'll tell you that. But I wasn't one of her prodigal sons, let's say.
but
Love
you turned out well. But you turned out well.
Thank you. Yeah, it was help from guys like you and Patrick, though.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I did my
right.
Am
Good
I off
job,
the hook
buddy.
now?
Yes.
Good.
You're
I'm
good.
gonna go fishing. I'm gonna go call Danielle and maybe go fishing.
Go catch a shell. Danny Wells, did you get a chance to watch the slideshow?
No, I did not.
You know what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish when I leave here. I'm going to just start the slideshow and let it go again. But you know what? You were a good-looking young man. What happened?
Stop it. I know. But there's something about that photo when I look at it is I can just see it in my mom's eyes that she friggin' adored me.
Yeah, I bet she did.
Yeah. I had a wonderful childhood. My mom, I still thank her on a daily basis. I had a blessed childhood. I was adopted, as everybody knows, and thankful that I was because those two people gave me a wonderful life. But my mom, I could feel her in me every day. Still.
It's awesome. Yeah, I put quite a few pictures of her up there when she's on a motorcycle.
Yeah. She's when Donna was talking about water skiing, that kind of brought back flashbacks of when after they adopted me, I was only 4 or 5 years old, but out in Ohio, somewhere on a river. My mom out there water skiing too. My dad loved to ride motorcycles. She'd jump on a street bike. She had her license. She had dirt bikes. She was always game for the fun stuff too, and enjoyed doing it. And I think that's why I love doing the stuff that I do.
That is awesome. That is awesome, Danny Wells.
Yeah, moms rock, man.
Moms rock. They're important, aren't they?
Yeah, they do. And I love them all on Khaki Deets. I love you, and happy Mother's Day to you as well.
That is awesome. That is awesome. So I think let me drop that link one more time. I don't want anybody to feel cheated, or if I left out a picture that you wanted in the slideshow.
I'll watch that slideshow at the end, but I'm gonna drop out so it'll be easier for you to cut out of here.
Cool. Thank you. Thank you, Danny.
All right,
Welcome on. Miss you, brother.
Miss you too.
Okay, that link has been dropped one more time. We got a little second win there with Danny Wells and Dennis. Thank you guys for coming on. And yeah, I think I should be able to figure out how to play that slideshow again to finish up the show. So I'll do that when I get out of here. If you want to revisit that, it was kind of cool. There's a lot of old pictures in there. I think there was close to 100 pictures. So sit back and relax and enjoy it. So since no one else is coming on, I think we're going to say Happy Mother's Day. Thank you for everyone for tuning in as always. Thank you. And I'm going to, Kathy, you came in a little late, darn it. But I'm going to start that slideshow one more time, and then we'll just wrap things up. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great day. Get a good night's sleep tonight, and we'll probably see you again tomorrow because I don't do very much. And that's it. Let's see if I can figure out how to do this slideshow. I think I can. Give me a second here, and we'll get it started. In peace, love, and prosperity. Let's see if I can pull this off here. We'll see what I can do here. We're still doing this. Let's see here. We're starting off with Grandma. I think that's Grandma's a little girl. And I'm not going to narrate this because I don't even know if you can hear me. I'll be careful, Kurt. And thank you for still watching, Curtis. Well, that's a good time to end this on a Isabel. Anyways, thanks for watching. If you're still tuning in, good night and lovely show. Bye-bye.